And now, it's time to fasten your seatbelts for Tom's trip around the world.
Hello Hoovies and welcome back to the third channel. Today we're doing a video all about Impractical Jokers UK. It is the remake series. It's back. Woohoo! Right, so I'm going to do some explanation to background this. Impractical Jokers is a American TV show that had a film that doesn't look that great. The film doesn't look that great, but the TV show is okay, in my opinion. It's about 4 friends that set each other challenges, and if they fail the challenge, then they have to do a forfeit at the end of the show. Gonna itch your head. Now, that concept seems perfectly fine. It's been going for 10 series. Yeah, la-di-da, perfectly fine. No one's got a problem. But then, that's becoming somewhat popular in the UK. It has on and off moments. It's never been widespread popularity. In my lifetime in education, I've only heard the odd. Well, my brother used to watch it, so my brother liked it. And then I heard like 1 or 2 people over my time in education ever mention it. Never mentioned it in high school, more of a college environment. I've heard it mentioned. Always a good thing, but that's just a thing, and I've seen YouTubers mention it once or twice. So in the UK, in my opinion, from what I know, it's not as popular as you would expect. So when the BBC, and I'll give you the dates. I thought I knew the dates, but got the rights to show Impractical Jokers and thought, yeah. So this is from the Wikipedia for Impractical Jokers UK. So the BBC got it in 2012 with Paul McCafferty, Joel Dommett, Marek Larwood and Roisin Connerty. And that is a perfect lineup. So what could go wrong, you might ask? Well, a lot can go wrong. So what went wrong wasn't them. Now the comments and the YouTube all say, I don't like this version. Oh, the original's better. It lasted for 2 series on the BBC. Before in 2015 it moved to Comedy Central and Channel 5. So most Comedy Central programmes end up getting to Channel 5 airing at some point because Channel 5 own Comedy Central UK, I think. Itchy nose. I think. I'm not too sure on that. But so that when it went downhill. But all the comments on YouTube say, oh no, it's rubbish. I quite liked Marek, Joel and Roisin and Paul doing it. I quite liked that. That was amazing. And no one on YouTube ever talks about Impractical Jokers UK. They've got their own UK YouTube channel because it was like 5 years ago when the final iteration ended. But the final iteration, so there's Channel 5 and Comedy Central era, both starred Lee Griffiths, Matt Ralphie, Paul Briggs and David Moon. Now, Lee, Matt, Paul and David were all friends. They are actual friends. Whereas Paul, Joel, Mark and Roisin know each other very well, have probably worked together on many things, but aren't like they've been friends haven't been friends for years. The one episode that they did was where they had the car sales and they had to try and get the person in the boot, whoever they were doing the car sales to. Itchy head. Now, I quite like that one. I do see where people get at when they say, oh no, Impractical Jokers UK is rubbish. I do see where they're trying to get at. Because there is certain points where it doesn't seem genuine, if you get me. Now, I was going to put a clip in, but because of the only episodes I got hold of are the BBC lot, I can't put clips in. But I will be doing a clip tester video on the Minor Tom Mason to test that, so that when I do a sequel video to this, I can then add in the clips, or I can then do a part 2 to this or whatever, because I don't want to get in trouble. So That's why the mind of Nathan also has weird things in my brain, but also has, my brain says, test this, test this, test this. So I've got videos lined up. So, here's what Wikipedia says. Take this with a pinch of salt. That's me chucking a pinch of salt. Here it is. Impractical Jokers, UK. It's a British reality television series that first aired in the United Kingdom in 2012 on BBC Three. The series is based on the American hidden camera practical joke reality television series Impractical Jokers. Throughout the show, they have challenges for their friends to do and say embarrassing things to an unsuspected public. The first two series of the show aired on BBC Three in 2012 to 2014, featuring Paul, Joel, Marek and Roshi. Now, Marek Larwood, if you don't know who he is, he starred on Sorry I Got No Head, We Are Clang, Even Still in Celebrability, and obviously Practical Jokers UK, but among other things, Joel Dommett is mass singer, presenter and comedian. He's appeared on panel shows many times. Roisin Connerty has been on Taskmaster, Game Face, Man Down, and many other things. And no, I don't know much about Paul. And actually he doesn't have a link to a Wikipedia page. So, Paul's a mystery to me. Just to me. If you know who Paul McCafferty is, please tell me in the comment section down below. I'm just checking. There's a wire in the way of the viewfinder, so I'm just checking to see how long we've been going for. Anyway, so, back to what I was saying. In April 2015, Channel 5 and Comedy Central announced a new series starring Lee Griffith, Matt Ralph, Paul Briggs and David Moon, replacing the previous 4 comedians. There was also a narrator, which we'll get on to, because it doesn't actually know who the first narrator was. Oh, it does. So the narrators were Laura Jackson, Vicky Stone and Matt Edmondson. So back to what I was saying. So Matt Edmondson is radio DJ. And then Matt Edmondson was replacing... Alright, right. So the format, here is the Wikipedia article for the format. So, before every challenge, the guys explain where they are and what the challenge is. What will happen if they fail? There is a mic placed on the cast member performing the prank. There is also hidden cameras near the area to capture the action. The location in which the challenge takes place, usually public areas such as a park, shopping centre, or shop. There we go. Let's see if there's any other interesting pieces. Right, here we go. The BBC era. 2 series of Practical Jokers aired on UK, aired on BBC Three in 2012 and 2014. Not a lot of information there, thanks. Anyway, here's the Channel 5 and Comedy Central information. For the third and final series, starring Lee, Matt, Paul and David, Robert Guy directed of Yale, who were thrilled to be making Impractical Jokers UK with Comedy Central UK. Okay. Reception. Here we go. This is what the audience thought. So, we've got some magazine coming in that I'm struggling to work out to pronounce the name of. Gave it a 1 out of 5, saying that whilst it's very similar to its American counterpart, the show seems too forced, and the jokes are not funny at all, she added. The 4 jokers, although funny at times, just don't have the chemistry that is needed to make something like this work. Just makes watching it very, very upsetting, and leaves you finding yourself staring at a wall for the rest of the show, because it's less painful to watch. I tell you this, I don't know why I did that first. It's probably just to bring into a transition for me to point in. I tell you this, right? I disagree with that. I watched, right, because the first episodes from the BBC versions on YouTube. I've seen the first episode. There is times in it, bits in it, that I think, no, that's not funny, but I've seen the Channel 5 version and the Comedy Central UK version, and now that is dire to watch. That is awful, right? I'd rather watch the US version, the original version, right, than watch that. But the BBC version is rather quite good. I like it. See, this video is telling you about my opinion, because I'm a little bit annoyed that everyone's like, oh no, it's rubbish. I'm being the man that says Marek Larwood, Joel Dommett, Paul McCafferty and Roisin Connaughton are Practical Jokers UK. They are Impractical Jokers UK, and they are amazing. They're as good as the US version. Some bits, I'll say, it's like a little bit like not good and not funny. But I'll say that about the US version. There is a few bits in the US version where I'm like, no, that's not funny. I'm like, ha 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 ha. No, I don't think that's funny, no. And I'm watching the UK version, I'm like, ha ha. No. And I'm watching the Channel 5 version thinking, I sort of don't get it now. I'm sort of losing the track. And no wonder in the final series, if they had moved them lot onward, if they had just kept like some of the original Jokers from the BBC version and brought them over and got some others. So if we got Marek Larwood, Roisin Connaughton and Craig Davis and Mike Wozniak, then Impractical Jokers UK would be even more incredible than the BBC version. But they chose to go in a completely new direction. And I think it's because they wanted less well-known people, because that's what the US version was. They were all friends and not many people knew who they are. But when the show got popular, then we started to work out, oh, now we know who they are. So, more on this. Now, I'll say this, so if you go into the Wikipedia page for just you regular Impractical Jokers, it's the only bit of Wikipedia I 100% love. It's a bit at the bottom where they talk about the spin-offs and the like international versions, which there we go. So what we'll talk about now, because we've talked about that. I'm not going to do a separate video on Impractical Jokers other versions, because I'm not a big enough of a fan. I just haven't seen anyone talk about the UK version, so it drives me around the bend that when I see people talk about it in the comments on these videos, they're saying, oh, it's not that good, so I need to give my good opinion. But here is the other versions. We have the BBC, we have the UK version, we have a Dutch version, a Belgian version, Brazilian version, Lebanese version, Mexican version, Greek version, French language, Canadian version, Swedish version, Spanish version, and Egyptian version. I've seen a bit of the Swedish version. It's quite good, actually. I quite like it. I've not seen the others yet. And then the spin-offs for this Impractical Jokers, just so if you've not ever heard of Impractical Jokers, you might have heard of some of these other. We have Jokers Wild. Jokers Wild was a spin-off of the original series, which the guys filmed a different style of sketch that differs from the one they normally do. Impractical Jokers inside the joke. It's Practical Jokers in each episode that they've already aired are shown again with pop-up facts throughout, including behind-the-scenes stories and facts directly from the Jokers. Impractical Jokers After Party is an after show hosted by someone else, and they talk about the show. Then we have Impractical Jokers Dinner Party, is a spin-off. It's guests invite one or more participants. The spin-off was created. Yep. And the film, on the 7th of March 2018, it was announced that Impractical Jokers was renewed for an 8th series, and a feature-length film began in development in spring 2018. Directed by Chris Henchy, and produced by Funny or Die Production. On the film began at the end of 2018, and a trailer was released in December 2019, and the movie was released on the February 21st, 2020. There we go. The official Impractical Jokers podcast started in 2017, hosted by producer Gary Christensen. Each episode I usually release the day after a new episode broadcast. I might have to get on the bandwagon for the podcast. So, overall, let's just cap off this video with one final thought. The show Impractical Jokers, the original, is okay, rather good. I like it. I'm gonna have to get on to listening to the podcast. The UK version, the BBC era, is fantastic. And we need to not be down about it, like upset about it, because it's quite good. And so, Impractical Jokers. So, I do think that, that I can't spell the word jokers correctly, apparently. I do think that the show itself is good. Now, here is the official podcast. You can see that's the podcast on. I'm going to do a whole video about Apple Podcasts. Anyway, so what do I think? I love the BBC era. I will be doing a whole video. So I've got now with this series, Remakes. I've now created a folder within a folder called Remakes, where I keep store all the remakes that there is, from English language remakes to like foreign language remakes. So for instance, like Dad's Army remake in America for the Rear Guard, I've been doing a video on that. I'll be doing individual videos on The Tunnel, which is a remake, which is a British remake of The Bridge, which I'll do a video within this series, because I did, and I'll sort of work out a way of sharing the theme tunes with you all at home, because I'm gonna download it again and just chop out I did a bit where I talked about the German version, Der Pass, but Der Pass, I'm gonna say Der Pass, even though it might be Der Pass, doesn't have a theme tune, even though it was by the famous composer that's, he's gone on my head, I forgot his name. Anyway, he didn't compose an actual theme tune for it like all the others. It's like, it's what you must do, like that type of thing. Like echo started in crossing view, gentleness, like an actual musical thing, and they have like the image of the bridge or image of the tunnel, like domino like, and then it turns into the tunnel, or you would have had them like panning on the mountain or something, but there wasn't a theme tune for that. But that is the future of the series. I highly recommend you watch Impractical Jokers UK. You can watch the full episode on YouTube, one episode. The Practical Jokers UK has a YouTube channel, and if you go to the beginning of it, you can watch the BBC clips, and then you can watch the Comedy Central UK clips. Don't know where you can watch the original, because it used to be on Netflix, but now it's not. But thank you guys for watching. Bye! I'll see you later on this channel for another new video. Third video of the day. The first video we filmed, which was from the archive, I've got it still up on my computer, is a bonus video for today. So, enjoy!